These supposedly are releasing in March, but Kicks Crew had them early, so, you know, I grabbed a pair. That's what we do. I don't know if people are excited about these coming back yet again, because I can't tell anymore. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we got a detailed look and breakdown on these bad boys right here. This is the Air Jordan 9 Cool Gray, a very popular colorway within the Air Jordan 9 lineup, but not an original colorway. Now, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, we do have a quick word from today's sponsor, and that is the good folks over at Hims. As we all know, it's the beginning of the new year, new me. And as statistics show, many of us have the same exact goal, and that just so happens to be weight loss, especially as older folks. Just stays on you. Hims is offering up a way to help us all reach that weight loss goal. You can get a free online consultation with a licensed medical provider who will help you get started on your weight loss journey. After they've assessed your goals and gone over your health history, they'll be able to help you decide on what is the best way to get your plan in action, if prescribed. Whether that's with their quality tested compound GLP-1 injections or oral medication kits. It is 100% online and it is 100% simple. And if you have any questions along the way, you'll receive unlimited access to a healthcare provider at no additional cost. Hims has options to fit your goals and your budget. And again, if you wanted to try them out, go to tryhims.co/weartesters to start your assessment today and see what your weight loss medication options are. Now, with all that being said, this is the box. It's an original style box, but done up in such a nice way. It's done up in a cool gray fashion, which I think is awesome. It's also done up in two different tones, just like the shoe itself, where the bottom is a little bit glossier and a little bit more of the cool gray color, whereas the lid is a matte color and done up in a lighter gray shade. Now, the shoe itself originally debuted in this colorway back in 2002 as a retro. So this is, again, not an original colorway because the shoe itself was a 93-94 model, and the original lineup included 4 colorways. And some of those original colorways have been re-released or retroed recently, one of which being the olives, the other being the UNC or powder blues. One that I hope to see return as a retro once again is the charcoal colorway. And then there's the what some people call the playoffs, what other people dub as the Space Jams, or what some people like myself just call them the white, black, and reds. Is the OG look. Now, fast forward from 1993, 1994, all the way to 2002, and again, that's where these guys come into play. This was during the Wizards era, and yes, he did wear these because that's the one thing that a lot of people say about the Air Jordan 9 is that they're not basketball shoes. He played baseball while, you know, this shoe released and things like that, which is true. He was playing baseball at the time that the original released, but it was still intended to be his basketball shoe. Strangely enough, he never let anybody know, specifically Nike and Tinker, that he was going to take some time off. So they were still in the lab cooking and everything like that, and then all of a sudden he announced his retirement. They were like, bro, what are we gonna do with this? Now, for me personally, I do love this colorway and I love it on this shoe, but I just wish that another shoe that released in that 2004 era would get some love like as a retro, and that is the Air Jordan 9 in Flint Gray and French Blue. I think that those are beautiful, and why they haven't seen a retro is beyond me. I will say as a caveat that half the time I wish that they wouldn't retro it because I know that they're gonna, you know, not put as nice leather that they did on the original version in 2002. That was buttery and it was awesome. So I'm pretty sure that whatever retro they cook up isn't gonna be as good as those. But as far as wearing it around and just, you know, looking as fresh as possible, I think that they'll be fine. Now, as far as this shoe is concerned, the outsole is an interesting one. The traction pattern itself, it really isn't one. It's just a flat outsole. It does have some texture to it, but not a true traction pattern. So there's no herringbone or radial or whatever it is. It's just all like engraved or debossed. And the outsole itself was meant to symbolize the globalization of the game of basketball. They really like attribute that to Michael Jordan himself, even though it was not just Michael Jordan, it was Michael Jordan and the entire Dream Team, but MJ was probably the biggest draw on the team. And so with that, they've got all of this stuff here. You can see a globe up there. You've got multiple different languages at the toe. 1994 at the ball of the foot. You got some kanji there on the outside. You got an Air Jordan 5 little shark teeth thing on there for some reason, but I think that's cool. And then my favorite part is the Jumpman with the 23. And I just think that it looks sick. Like, this looks 90s as Now, one of my favorite parts about this version of the Cool Gray 9s is when you look at the lateral side right here, on the left shoe specifically, the Jumpman right there. What is it doing?
Facing the right way.
Yes, it is, which was not the case with the last retro in 2012. This just looks proper. This is the way that the shoe should look, where both, shoes have the Jumpman logos facing the toes, much like the Air Jordan 11 and things like that. And this is just, it's so good. I'm glad that they went back to the drawing board, they fixed it, and I'm happy. The midsole itself is polyurethane, and inside the midsole are 2 encapsulated air sole units. One is in the forefoot, one is in the heel. They are bricks. Like, this is not a very comfortable shoe right out the box. This is one that you definitely have to give some time and break it in. Some people don't wear their shoes that often, like if you're like a rotation kind of guy, like you got a ton of shoes, so they might always feel kind of like hard underneath your feet. Other people might play in them, like myself. We actually have a performance review on them, and they did break in. They weren't like super comfortable, but it was better than when they were fresh out the box. However, on top of the midsole is a Dreamcell insole, which is a polyurethane based insole. It's just not as great as the polyurethane insoles that I love, the ones that they actually put with select retros. This right here, I think it's good enough, I guess, in comparison to like Ortholite. So yeah, in that sense, I prefer this, but if we're comparing this insole to a really cool polyurethane insole, then this is just not up to snuff. It's just not the best one. However, you can take it out, swap it out for anything else that you like. For example, the Move Baseline insole, if you slap one of those in this thing, they'll feel pretty comfortable right off the bat. The overall shape of the upper has been reworked since the last time that they've been released. This one has a much more rounded toe, which I think looks great. It's not quite original looking. Like if you were to look at an original pair from 1993 or 1994, this little like extra mudguard piece does wrap up just a little bit more on the original. So the way that it wraps up the upper is just a little bit different. But I do think that these look way better than the previous Air Jordan 9s that we had been, seeing since like the 2012 era. So while not completely perfect, this is as good as we've gotten so far besides the original stuff and maybe some of the early on retros like from 2002. Even though the 2002 retro actually did not feature the bottom speedlay system, whereas most of these modern retros do now. So they do have the speedlay system much like the originals did, from top all the way to the bottom. In case you don't know what a speedlay system is, basically it's just a simple loophole. That way you can pull your laces really quickly and just cinch them up in one go. Hence the speed lace aspect. That way you don't have to like sit there and tinker with every single eyelet and everything like that. The materials themselves are fairly nice. They're not premium or anything like that, and they are kind of stiff in hand, so much like the midsole, the upper will need to be broken in. The patent leather is actual leather, so in case you dislike that when they use synthetic leather underneath the patent finish, they didn't do that here. And then the nubuck that they've got on there is actual leather. It's just not the best leather, and then they've got this synthetic top coat. And that's the part that I do find a little bit weird. I wish that that was a little bit more premium, but it is what it is. They do look like the original version pretty much. So in that sense, I think that they did a good job. You still have the internal sleeve. It is a full-on booty in there. You got a really nice open mesh tongue right there, which is awesome. This guy right here, the little tongue tab, says Air Jordan, and it looks fantastic. Much like the original versions of the shoe, the size label is stitched, and it's not the more modern way of doing things where it's that hot melt plastic where they like kind of press it onto the material. This is again an original feature that was used on the original products, so I think that that is very cool. The rear of the shoe is probably my favorite. I love the globe and the Jordan logo along with the ginormous 2-3 on the back. This is something that a lot of people had a problem with the powder blues, that they did not have the 23 back there, but believe it or not, the original version of that shoe from 1993 didn't either.
Shut the front door.
Now, as far as sizing is concerned, you could do one of two things. You can go true to size. Lengthwise, they'll fit you just fine. However, these guys are pinky toe chewer uppers. There is the internal sleeve, but right here at the pinky toe area, the sleeve is like there's a big hole right there, and it's very weird feeling. And basically the internal lining that they've got backing all of the material really, at least for me, chafes the shit out of my toe, and it will leave a hole in that thing. So I like to go up half a size with the Air Jordan 9 retros. So you could do one of two things. If you got a super thin foot, true to size, you should be good. Everybody else might want to consider going up half a size. And again, I grabbed these over at Kicks Crew, so if you wanted to bypass the March supposed release date, unless that changes, I don't know, that you could do that, but we'll have a link down below if you just happen to want to grab these now instead of waiting for later. And with all that being said, what is today's question of the day?
This question is for both of us. What are your top 5 TV theme songs of all time?
Oh no, it's a list.
I know, and I've gotten to work on mine.
Well, that's great. I've been fumbling through 1993 this entire video, and now I gotta switch gears.
One of my songs is from probably 1993.
Same here, but go ahead. You can go first since you're already ready.
A current show on my list is Only Murders in the Building, because I never skip it. Like I sit through the whole thing.
Okay.
And I'm actually a little upset with myself because I just realized in this most recent season that they actually changed some of the imagery, like right at
like Walking Dead?
Yes, and it's like right at the very end when they finally finally zoom back out from the building, and I'm like, was that like that in all the other seasons? And I was too busy.
You gotta rewatch it.
I guess so.
Which you will.
Another one is Sex and the City, only because it's so fun and bubbly, and I just love it. Unsolved Mysteries.
No, don't like that one.
It's because it's the most iconic. Even with me trying to skip through the intro, you'll hear it from another room, and there will be expletives because it's so iconic.
Scary is what it is.
Gilmore Girls. Carole King, I believe, sings the intro with her daughter, and I too sing along with them.
What number is that? Is that 4?
4.
Can I guess your next one?
Ooh, I would be impressed if you get it.
So it's not Friends.
No, it's not Friends.
Okay, go ahead.
It's Parenthood.
I don't think I...
It's the song Forever Young by Bob Dylan, but it's like a quick, snappy version of it, and I love it.
Okay.
Oh wait, I have one last one.
Really? So you're allowed to go over.
This is for best outro, and it would be Avatar: The Last Airbender, because whether it's the fast, fun drums or the slow, haunting, fluty one, I just really like it.
Okay. Let's see. The only ones that come to mind are animated.
That's okay.
Is it?
Yeah, know your role.
This is in no particular order. This is just what's coming to my head right now. Batman the Animated Series. Second one, I want to say Spider-Man, like the animated series, like the 94 series. But then X-Men too. X-Men, like the animated X-Men. That might be like another iconic one, you know what I'm saying? Justice League Unlimited, so good. It's just like stoic. I like Spectacular Spider-Man.
I think that's the one that's coming to my brain, where it's a little like...
Yeah, so that's Spectacular.
Okay.
But like Spider-Man is the weird one, where it's like, it starts off with a web whipping and then goes like that, and it's like,
yeah,
like that. That's so good. Let's see, there's other stuff too. I really love the Batman's theme song, especially at the end where it's like kind of creepy and the bat sounds, like the bats flapping. I like that one. I know that I went over already.
Yeah, you did.
So stop. But if you have others to add to the list, feel free, whether that be animated or actual shows, then go ahead. I think the animation is better. And on top of all of that, sound off below and let us know what you think about these in the comment section. Are you glad to see them return once again, especially like this with the proper placement of everything and the overall shape changes? Or is this not your favorite colorway? Who knows? Thank you guys once again for being here. We really appreciate it. We'll catch you guys on the next one. So until then, y'all have a good one. Let me just say this real quick. I know that I forgot some of the all-time favorites like Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, Ghostbusters. I was on a time crunch, okay? And I'm on a different wavelength when these questions get thrown at me. I apologize, but yes, I know. I missed so many great ones. Power Rangers might be up there as #1. Not only the theme song, but the music within it.
White Ranger, Tiger Power, White Ranger.